The Cyanide Bubble Tea Murder, Vietnam, 2020. A normal day turns into a nightmare. On January 3, 2020, a shocking and mysterious murder took place in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. It was an ordinary day at Bach Mai Hospital, one of the country's most prestigious medical centers. Doctors and nurses moved through the corridors, attending to their patients, unaware that a brutal crime was about to unfold. Dr. Le Van Than, a respected cardiologist, had just finished a difficult morning shift. Tired but satisfied with his work, he walked into the hospital's break room, where several of his colleagues were relaxing. He smiled as he pulled out his phone to order his usual Trieta large taro-flavored bubble tea with extra tapioca pearls. The delivery arrived 20 minutes later. Than took a sip, savoring the sweet taste. But within moments, something felt wrong. Suddenly, he clutched his throat, his vision blurred, and his body convulsed. He collapsed to the floor, gasping for air. His colleagues rushed to his side, shouting his name, but Than could not respond. His limbs trembled violently. One nurse tried to administer CPR, but his body was shutting down rapidly. Less than an hour later, Dr. Than was dead. The investigation begins. The hospital immediately alerted the police. Than had been a healthy man in his mid-40s, with no pre-existing conditions. There was no explanation for his sudden collapse until the autopsy results came in. High levels of cyanide were found in his stomach. The poison had been mixed into his bubble tea. He had consumed a lethal dose within seconds. This was no accident. Someone had deliberately poisoned him. Detectives retraced his final steps, following the delivery transaction. Who had handled his drink? Who would want him dead? The first clue was shocking. His drink had not been specifically ordered for him. It had been a shared office delivery, where multiple drinks had been placed on the table. Had someone accidentally poisoned the wrong person? A suspicious colleague. As detectives reviewed surveillance footage, one person's behavior stood out: the Kiu Trang, a fellow doctor at the hospital.
Trang was well respected but known to be quiet, reserved, and highly private.
Colleagues described her as cold, calculating, and deeply intelligent. Some even said she had a dark presence about her. When questioned, Trang acted strangely. She avoided eye contact. Her hands trembled slightly. Her answers were too rehearsed, too perfect. She insisted she had no connection to Than's death. But detectives weren't convinced. A twisted motive: jealousy and betrayal. As detectives dug into Trang's background, a disturbing story emerged. She was married to a high-ranking surgeon at the hospital.
But their marriage was falling apart.
Trang had long suspected her husband was having an affair with a younger nurse. Her paranoia consumed her. She became obsessed with revenge. She purchased cyanide from an illegal online supplier. She planned to poison her husband's drink. She wanted him to suffer for betraying her. But something went terribly wrong. On the day of the murder, the bubble tea delivery was mixed up. Her husband never drank the poisoned tea. Instead, Dr. Than unknowingly took the fatal sip meant for someone else. An innocent man was dead, all because of one woman's blind hatred. The arrest and shocking confession. Once presented with the overwhelming evidence, Trang broke down and confessed. She admitted to buying the cyanide. She did not intend to kill Than. It was a mistake. She showed no remorse, only frustration that her plan had failed. Police raided her home and found cyanide vials hidden in her medicine cabinet, a diary detailing her suspicions about her husband's affair, a torn-up note planning out the murder. The evidence was undeniable. She was immediately arrested and charged with premeditated murder. The courtroom drama. During the trial, Trang's demeanor was chilling. She never cried. She never apologized. She never looked at Than's grieving family. Instead, she coldly explained her actions. "I had no choice," she said. "I was betrayed." But the judge was not moved by her words. She was found guilty of murder, sentenced to life in prison. Her husband divorced her immediately. The aftermath. Dr. Than's death shocked the country. The hospital tightened its security policies. The case sparked debates about jealousy-driven crimes. Many wondered, could this have been prevented? Even today, the cyanide bubble tea murder remains one of Vietnam's most chilling true crime. This is a reminder of how a single act of revenge can spiral into tragedy. Dr. Than was never supposed to die. But one woman's obsession with revenge changed everything.